You had a childhood. You know you did. There are photos somewhere in a shoebox. Your mom has stories she tells at Thanksgiving. And yet, if someone put $100 on the table right now and said, "Tell me what happened on your seventh birthday," you'd sit there blinking like someone just asked you to speak Latin. The name's Frank. And from where I sit, right here, flat on this screen, I've been watching you 3D folks scratch your heads about this for a while. And most of you think it's just you, that something's wrong with your memory, that maybe you just weren't paying attention. Nope. Scientists have been poking at this question since 1893. That's over 130 years. And the answer isn't you have a bad memory. The answer is way stranger. Your brain did this to you on purpose. And by the end of this, you might actually be okay with that. Okay, so there's a part of your brain that handles memories. It's called the hippocampus. Yes, it sounds like a school for hippos. No, it's not. It's a small, curvy bit of your brain, about the size and shape of a seahorse. And its only job is to take things that happen to you and save them so you can remember them later. Here's the problem though. Scientists have found that this part of your brain doesn't even start working properly until you're about 20 months old. And it doesn't finish building until you're somewhere around 3 to 5 years old. So for the first chunk of your life, the part of your brain that's supposed to be saving your memories wasn't done yet. Think about it like this. You know a VCR, right? Of course you do. You're Gen X. Imagine you're trying to record your favorite show, but there's no tape in the machine. The show played. It happened. You were there, sitting on the carpet, eating cereal. But when you hit rewind, it's static. You see nothing. That's what was going on. The show was playing. The tape just wasn't in yet. But here's the thing. Even after that part of your brain got up and running, say when you were 4, 5, 6, something else went wrong. And this part's even weirder. So now your brain's up and running. You're maybe 4 or 5. You're making memories. Things are being recorded. Good news, right? Not so fast. See, at this age, your brain was also doing something else. It was making brand new brain cells. Fast, really fast, like a factory running 3 shifts. And normally you'd think, more brain cells, that's great, more room to store stuff. Wrong. Scientists have actually found that all those new brain cells weren't just adding to what was already there. They were moving in and pushing the old ones out. Like new people moving into an apartment and rearranging all the furniture. Except your memories were the furniture, and they got put out on the curb. Your memory of that one perfect Saturday morning, Scooby-Doo, a bowl of sugar smacks, nobody bothering you, gone. Replaced by your brain learning how to tie your shoes. Your brain basically looked at your childhood memories, looked at the new stuff it needed to learn, and said, we need the space. And here's what makes this extra wild. The researchers who studied this say this rapid cell building thing, it only slows down later in childhood. So the memory bulldozing went on for years. So it wasn't that you were careless. It wasn't that your childhood wasn't worth remembering. Your brain was just remodeling, and your early memories were what got tossed out to make room. But wait, because those memories, the ones that got thrown out, they might not actually be gone. There's a question that has been bugging scientists for decades. When you forget your childhood, are those memories actually erased, like wiped clean? Or are they still in your brain somewhere, just locked in a room you can't find? And the research is starting to lean toward they're still in there. Scientists found that your brain can actually make memories before age 3, and those memories can still exist inside your brain when you're an adult. You just can't get to them. You can't pull them up the way you pull up what you had for lunch yesterday. It's like having a box in your attic that you forgot you put there. The box is real. The stuff inside is real, but you can't find the ladder, and nobody labeled the box. And a study from 2025 actually found a sneaky way to peek inside that box. Researchers at Anglia Ruskin University did something clever. They showed people a younger-looking version of their own face, like a digital kid version of themselves. And when people saw themselves looking like a child again, childhood memories started coming back, stronger and clearer than before. Turns out, part of how your brain files memories is connected to what you looked like at the time. So when you, a fully grown adult, show up asking for a memory from 1979, your brain goes, sorry, don't recognize you. You're not on the list. It's like going back to your old school and trying to use your hall pass from 2nd grade. The system doesn't know who you are anymore, but the file, it's still in there. The memory didn't leave. You just changed too much for your brain to match you to it. That's kind of something if you sit with it. But there's another twist. Because the memories you do have, the ones you can actually pull up, the dates might be wrong. So here's something that's going to mess with you a little. That memory you're sure happened when you were 5, it might have actually happened when you were 3. Researchers studied kids over time and found something strange. The kids kept a lot of the same memories as they got older, but the age they said those memories happened at kept shifting forward. They'd remember something that happened when they were 3, but by the time they were older, they'd swear it happened when they were 5. Scientists call this telescoping, and it works exactly like a telescope. It makes faraway things look closer than they really are. So that thing you're 100% sure happened in first grade, it might have been preschool. Your brain just bumped the date forward. And here's the wild part. If most people's earliest memory is around age 3.5, and the dates are being pushed forward by a year or more, then some of your real earliest memories might actually be from when you were 2. You might remember more of your childhood than you think. You just filed it under the wrong year. Like putting a 1981 photo in a 1983 album, which is honestly the most Gen X thing possible. Nobody was keeping track of you then. Why would your brain start now? Now, some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, Frank, the brain wasn't ready. New brain cells ate my old memories. The dates are wrong. But why can't I remember whole years? Like big chunks just gone. That's a different thing, and it has less to do with how your brain was built and more to do with something most people don't think about. So, everything I've talked about so far, the unfinished brain, the new cells pushing out old memories, the wrong dates, that all happened to every person who ever lived. It doesn't matter where you grew up or who your parents were. That's just how brains work. But there's one more piece, and this one's sneaky. Scientists have found a direct link between when kids start talking well and when their earliest memories begin. And it lines up almost perfectly, around age 3 to 4. Think about that. Before you could talk, before you had words for things, your brain was trying to save memories, but it had no labels to stick on them. Imagine trying to describe a color you've never seen before. You know it exists, you saw it, but you don't have a word for it. So how would you ever find it again? How would you search for it? That's what happened to your earliest experiences. You lived them, they were real, but you didn't have enough words yet to tag them, sort them, or describe them to yourself. So they got filed under question mark, and eventually, your brain couldn't find them anymore. It's like saving a document on your computer in 1995 and naming it ASDFJKL. Good luck finding that in 2026. And there's actually another side to this. Kids who had stronger language skills earlier, who talked more, who were talked to more, tended to hold on to more early memories. Not because they had better brains, but because they had more words, more labels, more tags on the folders. So the kids who got talked to a lot, they saved more. Not because they were smarter, because they had a better filing system. Now, this connects to something a lot of people don't realize. Because how and whether you held on to your childhood memories, it can also depend on what your childhood felt like. So, there's one more thing, and I want to be straightforward about it because it matters. Researchers have found that kids who grew up in homes where things were stressful a lot of the time, not just one bad day, but a long stretch of things being tense or unpredictable, their brains handled memories differently. When a kid's brain feels like it's always on guard, always watching, always waiting for something to go wrong, it switches into a kind of emergency mode. And in that mode, it doesn't calmly sort and save what's happening. It just reacts. And the memories from that time can end up jumbled, out of order, or just blank. And it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be a headline. Sometimes it's just years of things being a little off. I'm not saying this to make it heavy. I'm saying it because if you've ever felt weird about having big gaps, bigger than other people seem to have, there's a real studied reason for it, and it has nothing to do with something being wrong with you. Almost every adult who's ever been studied has some form of this. The rate of memory is lower than expected all the way up to age 7 to 10. That's not a flaw. That's how the machine was built. And honestly, if your brain had saved everything, Every boring Tuesday, every weird dinner at your aunt's house, every time you sat in the back seat staring at nothing for 2 hours. You'd need a bigger head. So, here you are, 2026. And somewhere, maybe 1978, maybe 1983, there's a little version of you running around, living a whole life that you can barely reach. That used to feel like something was missing. But now you know. Your brain wasn't broken. The filing cabinet wasn't built yet. The new brain cells needed the space. You didn't have enough words, and the dates got shuffled. And the science says losing some of those old memories actually helps you. It stops your brain from getting stuck in the past. It lets you think on your feet, change your mind, adapt, move forward. Your brain didn't erase your childhood because it didn't care. It did it so you could keep going. And those early memories, the real ones, not the stories your mom tells, not the ones from the photo album, the science says they might still be in there, sitting in a room in your brain that you just don't have the key to anymore. They're not gone. They're just quiet. Have you ever been told a story of your childhood and you find it hard to remember? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your personal experiences. If you liked this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe button below. Now, before you leave, YouTube recommends you watch this video next. I think you'll find it interesting. I'll see you there.